Hey guys, this is Ashok. In this video, me and my teammates Varun and Logarajan are going to share the success story of the company Ford. Henry Ford was an American inventor and business magnate and the founder of Ford Motors Company. He invented several vehicles, most famously the Model T automobile, and they changed the auto industry forever by introducing the moving assembly line to the car production. And his industrial innovations were so economically and impactful that the term Fordism come to refer the mass production and consumption that they enable. Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motors Company, was born in Springwells Township, Wayne County, Michigan on July 30, 1863. Young Henry Ford showed an early interest in missions. By the time he was 12, he was spending most of his time in small machine shop. He had equipped himself there at 15, constructed his first steam engine. Later, he became a machinist apprentice in Detroit in the shop of James F. Lever and Brothers and in the plant of Detroit Dry Dock Company. After completing his apprenticeship in 1882, he spent a year setting up and repairing Westinghouse steam engine in southern Michigan. In July 1891, he was employed as an engineer at Edison Illuminating Company of Detroit. He became chief engineer on November 6, 1893. Thomas Edison, who became a lifelong mentor and friend to Henry Ford. Henry Ford's career as a builder of automobiles dated from winter of 1893 when he is interested in international combustion engine led him to construct a small one-cylinder gasoline model. First, Ford engine started its way up to life on a wooden table in the kitchen of Ford's home at 58 Avenue in the Detroit. A later version of that engine powered his first automobile, which was essentially a frame fitted with four bicycle wheels. This first Ford car, the quadricycle, was completed in June 1896. On August 19, 1899, he resigned from his Edison Illuminating Company and with others organized the Detroit Automobile Company, which went into bankruptcy about 18 months later. Meanwhile, Henry Ford designed and built several racing cars, one of them called Sweepstakers. He defeated Alexander Winton on a track in Pointe, Michigan on October 10, 1901. 1 month later, Henry Ford founded his second mobile venture, the Henry Ford's Company. He would leave the enterprise with Hood became a Cadillac motor car company in earlier 1902. In another of his racing cars, 999, he established a world record of the mile covering the distance in 39.4 seconds on January 2, 1904 on the winter ice of Lake of Clare. On June 16, 1903, Henry and Tollers invested $28,000 and created Ford Motor Company. The first car built by the company was sold July 15, 1903. Henry owned 25.5% of stock in the new organization. He became president and controlling power in 1906. In 1919, Henry, Clara and Edsel Ford acquired the interest of all minority stockholders and became the sole owner of the company. Edsel, who succeeded his father as a president in 1919, occupied the position until his death in 1943, when Henry Ford returned to the post. In September 1945, when he resigned the presidency of a second time, Henry Ford recommended that his grandson Henry Ford too will be elected to the position. The board of directors followed his recommendation. In 1946, Henry Ford was lauded at Automotive Golden Jubilee of his contribution to the automotive industry. In July of same year, 50,000 people cheered him for Dearborn and Giant 83rd birthday party. Later that year, American Petroleum Institute awarded him its first gold medal annual award of outstanding contribution to the welfare of humanity. The United States government honored him in 1965 by featuring his likeness with a Model T on postage stamp as a part of their prominent American series. In 1999, the Fortune magazine named Henry Ford the businessman of the century. And the rest will be concluded by Varun.
Let me briefly explain about Ford's journey. Ford introduced methods for large scale manufacturing of cars and large scale management of an industrial workforce using elaborately engineered manufacturing sequences typified by moving assembly lines by 1914. These methods were known around the world as Fordism. Ford's former UK subsidiaries called Jaguar and Land Rover acquired in 1989 and 2000 respectively. These were sold to Indian automaker called Tata Motors in March 2008. And then Ford owned the Swedish automaker Volvo from 1999 to 2010. In 2011, Ford discontinued the Mercury brand under which it had marketed entry-level luxury cars in United States, Canada, Mexico and Middle East since 1938. And then Ford is the second largest US-based automaker and the fifth largest in world based on 2015 vehicle production. At the end of 2010, Ford was the fifth largest automaker in Europe. The company went public in 1956, but the Ford family, through special Class B shares, still retained 40% of the voting rights. During the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008, the company struggled financially but did not have to be rescued by the federal government, unlike the other two major US automakers. In April 2016, Ford announced a plan to modernize its Dearborn engineering and headquarters campuses through a 10-year building project. The result would see the number of Ford employees working in these areas doubling to 24,000. Facilities would also be altered to allow ride sharing and electric and self-driving vehicles. In February 2017, Ford Motors co-acquired majority ownership of Agro AI and self-driving car startup. In May 2017, Ford announced cuts to its global workforce amid efforts to address the company's declining share price and to improve profits. The company is targeting $3 billion in cost reduction and nearly 10% reduction in the salaried workforce in Asia and North America to enhance earning in 2018. Jim Hackett was announced to replace Mark Fields as CEO of Ford Motors. Mr. Hackett most recently oversaw the formation of Ford Smart Mobility, an unit responsible for experimenting with car sharing programs, self-driving venture and other programs that aimed at helping Ford better compete with Uber, Alphabet Inc. and other tech giants looking to edge in on the auto industry. On April 25, 2018, Ford announced that it would discontinue passenger cars in North American market in the next 4 years, except for the Ford Mustang due to declining demand and profitability. The Focus Active and crossover SUV based on the newly unveiled fourth generation Focus was also intended to be marketed in the United States due to the vehicle being manufactured in China. Ford later announced that it would not release the Focus Active SUV in United States due to tariffs imposed by the Trump administration on Chinese exports. Thank you, and the rest will be continued by Mr. Logarajan.
On 2020, the Detroit United Auto Worker Union announced that after discussion with the leaders of General Motors, the car maker would partially shut down factories as the rotating basic of the COVID-19 pandemic. On representative of Ford announced that production in the US, Canada, and Mexico would not resume on March 30 as originally planned amid the further coronavirus pandemic spread. In the first quarter of 2020, the Ford sales dropped by 15%, entailing the loss of $2 billion losses. With the change in the demand for the sport vehicles on 2021, Ford reported a sales fall of 9.8% in the fourth quarter. In 2021, the Ford said that it would provide. In March 2022, the Ford announced that it would restructure the company into three separated divisions. The Ford Model E is to be focused on electric vehicles, the Ford Blue is to be focused on internal consumption vehicles, and the existing commercial division to be rebranded as Ford Pro. The focus on vehicle distribution and services. In August 2022, the Ford announced its planned layoff of roughly 3,000 employees and contract workers, confirming earlier reporting. The cuts would mostly affected divisions in the US Canada, which Jim Farley said would allow the company to prepare for the future of electric software heavy vehicles. On May 26, 2021, the Ford Motors Company announced its new business strategy, Ford Plus, which positioned electric vehicles, connected technologies, and commercial vehicles business as a pillar of growth. The electric vehicle Ford aimed to have over 40% of its global sales volume be electric vehicle by 2030. For the commercial vehicle, the company will launch a business divisions, the Ford Pro, to develop a business model that not only sell commercial vehicles but also continue to provide related services such as charging and repairs. The Ford sales volume in the US in 2021 was 1 crore 89 lakhs 2000 units, down 7.0% from the previous year. Ford Global Electric Vehicle introduced plan will require approximately battery productions. Therefore, it addition to develop its own battery production capacity, the Ford is also working with a number of battery suppliers through a joint ventures with a battery manufacturer SK Innovation and Co. Limited. SK Innovation is also like to say that strength of the Ford is nowadays strong and globally positioned brand, one of the largest automotive manufacturing, huge increase in total equity. Thank you.